Good morning, everybody. We got 31 watching already. We haven't even started. That's the power of sports and fitness rants and dual ranting. Welcome back. Say hello to everyone.
Hey, well, listen, man. Like I was saying, man, it's great to be back with my man AOH, the czar of the video. We're back once again, the dynamic duo, man. Pippen and Jordan. We're here once again. Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, man. Danny Glover and Mel Gibson, man. Whatever you guys want to do, man. You know we got the information, we got the facts for you guys, man. Thank you to everybody out there already in the chat, man. Once again, shout out to my man AOH for having me on here again, man. And you guys know the deal, man. It's all about setting the record straight, man. Stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, man. Let's roll.
Yeah, we like doing the Wednesday, the hump day, but it's just not working out in the schedules, and it's been too long. We got to get sports and fitness back in the mix. So here we are on Saturday, and man, there's a lot to talk about, and I want to give the callers a chance to vent their frustrations. That's half of what we're doing here. We're just feeling each other's pain, just kind of like not even believing the crap that we're seeing. You know, it's been so long. You want to get some things off your chest before I even introduce the format?
Well, I mean, listen, man, I could just go, man. That's what it's all about. I could just rant. It don't mean, but yeah, like I said, I've been telling everybody on my channel, man, AOH, you know the deal, man. We've been talking a lot about how when coming into the season, the preseason rankings, the individual rankings of some of these players, and we were laughing about how they had LeBron James as a top 10 player in the league still. And I think that's it's a shame, actually. It's a travesty to someone like an Anthony Davis and to the integrity of the game. This is what we're talking about, man. When you have someone like LeBron James ranked 7th in the NBA, I told you it's a two-pronged thing. On one hand, what are you doing? You're taking away from the NBA. How are you taking away from the NBA? Because essentially what you're saying is that a player in his 22nd year, at 40 years old, who doesn't play a lick of defense, who plays a lick of defense, who's only going out there for the statistics, what you're saying is that player is in fact a top 10 player in the NBA. There aren't 10 better players in the NBA right now than LeBron James. Can we honestly say that? And you're taking away from the greatness of Anthony Davis, who in fact may be the best player in the NBA right now, and in fact was probably the best two-way player in the league last season. And how does the ESPN reward him? By dropping him down spots from where he was ranked coming into last season. So I think that's a real shame, because what we've seen with the Lakers is that clearly Anthony Davis is clearly the best player on the team, and he's arguably the best player in the league.
The Anthony Davis thing, we could go down a wormhole of just trying to understand where his brain is. People ask all the time. And while I was out jogging this morning, I was thinking, I was like, sometimes we forget, because they're rich, because they're famous, because they're big people, that they're children when they come into these contracts. Maybe with the Pelicans and whatever, he just, these people aren't full of wisdom. And maybe he didn't understand how bad of a move that was for him, but he didn't want to be in with the Pelicans anymore. And it's like, here's a way out. Or I don't know, maybe his personality is bitch, and I'm attracted to another bitch, and I don't mind being treated like a bitch. I mean, he's just being treated like a bitch. It's the disrespect for Anthony Davis is through the roof, and he just grins and bears it. I don't know if you can say something on that, but I'm not sure we're ever going to understand where his brain is at.
Well, this is what we're talking about, the integrity right there. You're speaking to integrity. Anthony Davis, once again, these are the kinds of things when we talk about these guys not really being competitive or putting the competition above all. All right? You're going to get your money. These guys, I think, act as if they're going to be broke, or they're not going to get paid that much money unless they act a certain way or they demand a certain amount of money. I really don't get it. The money's going to come. Are you going to be the highest paid player in the league? Yeah, maybe you won't be the highest paid player in the NBA, but the money's going to be there. You guys should be putting the game, the integrity of the game, the competition above all. So when Anthony Davis will request a trade, he essentially is basically saying, hey, I'm going to play with LeBron James. There's nothing that you guys can do on the Pelicans about it. I'm not going to give the full effort on the court. That's the problem. They're not going to put forth the effort. So they handcuff the organization. And let's not forget, Darrell Griffin basically gift wrapped Anthony Davis to the Lakers. And once again, taking away from the integrity of the game. And then, like you said, Anthony Davis is kind of paying for it, but does he really care? I don't know. He doesn't really seem like he has heart or grit or anything like that. But The main thing that we must understand is that Anthony Davis is clearly the best player in the team, man. And unfortunately for him, he's not going to get the just due, like you just said. Everyone's going to be talking about LeBron James, and he's not going to get the shine that he deserves. Because, like I said, he essentially might be the top front runner for the MVP right now.
I mean, you have obvious evidence in which the Lakers lose when he doesn't play, and then they win when he comes back, and yet he's still ranked under LeBron James. And man, which direction do I go here? Do we talk about the guys just not caring because they have so much money, like, and start talking about Paul George? I don't know. If we start talking about Paul George, he might not come back. Let me show you. I'll put this up on the screen, and this was in the news feed as I was jogging. Lakers' bold starting lineup change immediately provides positive returns. And I mean, just the over the top, exaggerated reporting. The Lakers lose, the bench gets blamed. LeBron James has a good night while numbers wise while getting blown out. Oh, let's talk about his triple double. The Lakers win against an incredibly depleted team. They leave all that out and say, oh, a bold starting lineup change. So I don't know. Is this some sort of an attempt to promote JJ Redick again? I don't even know what the lineup change was, but the fact that they left out everything that you said in your rant this morning is it's hard to understand that can be allowed in professional journalism. There's no way those guys don't know or see what you pointed out in your rant this morning, I guess. I mean, I think it's part of the business to just pull the wool over people's eyes, which is really scary if you think about it. Like, their job is to fool people about what's happening in the sports world instead of report on the sports world.
Yeah, I mean, listen, look at the wording here. It says Lakers bold starting lineup change. So that word bold right there, what they're trying to do is emphasize the impact that that starting lineup change had on the outcome of the game. And if you're being honest, if you want to keep the integrity and keep the standard here, then let's be honest and tell the full story. Let's give the context, so to speak. And let's talk about who they played last night. They played a Sixers team that did not have their two best players. Tyrese Maxey or Joel Embiid were not playing last night. They're their two best players. Don't talk to me about Paul George. He's not one of their two best players. Tyrese Maxey is clearly a more effective and better basketball player at this point in his time of their careers than Paul George is. You mentioned it. We don't have to go down the rabbit hole with Paul George and the pandemic peak performances that he's been putting out there on the court, even though this man had the audacity, the nerve, to ask the LA Clippers and basically demand a no-trade clause on top of the money he was getting offered. This man is delusional at best. This guy, he's lost his mind. But the Lakers beat that team last night. That's who they beat. And the headlines are what? LeBron James triple-double leads the Lakers past the Sixers. Not Anthony Davis, 31 points, 9 rebounds, 4 blocks, whatever he did on the court on both sides of the ball last night. They lead off with the ESPN LeBron James triple-double leads the Lakers. Absolutely not. LeBron James once again had 12 rebounds last night, 0 offensive rebounds. This man has the nerve to go out there on the basketball court at 6'9" and get 0 offensive rebounds. LeBron James has 2 offensive rebounds in 9 games this season. Are you kidding me? Michael Jordan, in his last year on the Wizards, on one leg, mind you, a bad knee, managed to grab 71 offensive rebounds. I challenge LeBron James to match that number this season. He has 2 after 9 games.
I mean, how many videos do I have to make about the rebounding and that the rebounds?
Yo, shout out to Uncut Hoops, man. Thank you for coming through, man. Yo, shout out
Yeah.
to my man Dart. Yo, Michael Jordan fans are the best. I see you, man. Go Cast. What's up?
Some fool in the comments said, "Oh, you didn't watch the game. How can you talk about it?" Look, I was on the road. At least I'm honest about it. You didn't watch it either, you fucking LeBron douchebag. So
But we don't have to watch the game.
no.
The facts are the facts. What we've been talking about on these channels when we have our shows, what we're highlighting and alluding to is how the hell is LeBron James ranked above Anthony Davis coming into this season? I don't have to watch any of the games right now to tell you coming into this season, Anthony Davis was clearly the best player on the team last year, and he was absolutely the best player coming into this season. Essentially, Anthony Davis last year was the best two-way player in all of the NBA last year, the best two-way player. How is he not better than LeBron James? You're saying the best two-way player in the NBA right now is not better than LeBron James, who plays zero defense consistently, who has zero leadership. LeBron James' role on the team is not to be the best player, it's to be the leader. So his fans don't seem to understand these things. LeBron James is not leading them anywhere. Once again, like you mentioned, Anthony Davis goes down, the Lakers defense looks terrible. They're not rebounding the ball. You have 2 offensive rebounds. They're one of the worst rebounding teams in the NBA. It's funny that the things that they don't do good are the things that LeBron James doesn't do at all, which is rebound and play defense. So his fans can once again go back to whatever they want to do. Make a video, I dare you.
Let's talk about Paul George for a second before we come back to LeBron James. And him saying that look, I can understand not wanting to be booed, but turning around and saying, I gave everything to this city. What planet does he live on? He took a shitload of money from the organization and delivered nothing. I've got his playoff record here on the screen. Can I move where we are?
Yeah, put it up.
I was trying to. Oh, shit. What the fuck did I do? All right. Do you see it?
I see it.
So he gets recruited by Kawhi, and they do their douchey move together that doesn't deliver anything. So it's 2020, 2021 that they got to the conference finals and lost to the Suns. 2020, 2021 was a pathetic year for just about every team in the West. I mean, the Warriors didn't even make the playoffs, did they?
Nope.
So 21, 22, they don't make the playoffs. 22, 23, first round loss. 23, 24, first round loss. Wow, you gave everything, Paul. You gave everything. Incredible.
Yeah, and go ahead, AOH.
I was looking at him, and I was like, would it kill you to go into the gym? Like, I'm 50, a high-functioning alcoholic that doesn't lift weights anymore, and I've got more muscle tone than Paul George does. You can't even go in the gym for the Clippers. Don't tell us that you gave them everything. You can't even get in the gym for them. Lift a weight, man.
Oh my gosh, man. Listen, man, we didn't even touch on the blown lead that they had when they were up 3-1 against the Denver Nuggets. We won't talk about that blown lead that they had. So once again, when we talk about Paul George and the time that he had on the Clippers, and we talk about this man and what he accomplished, it's little to nothing. These guys want, you know what I'm saying? It's like one of those things where, when we talk about, they want credit for things that they're supposed to do. Like, there are people out there like that want credit for things that they're just supposed to do. And that's Paul George. These guys, they want credit for things that you don't get credit for. Dude, what do you want credit for? For going to the Western Conference Finals? Dude, you're not in your second year in the league, your third year in the league, and we're like, yeah, man, Paul George is figuring it out. He's learning how to win. He's leading a young team. They made it to the Western Conference. Dude, you went there with other superstar level talent, other players. You're getting paid all of this money. They literally brought you guys in and pumped you guys up as the best team in LA. Then you turn around and call them the B team. You said you felt disrespected by the Clippers organization because they didn't give you the same offer as Kawhi Leonard. Once again, you're living in a fairy tale, my man. You are not Kawhi Leonard. As much as I do not like Kawhi Leonard, Paul George is nowhere on the level of a Kawhi Leonard at his best. Those players at their best are two completely different players. So when you want to talk about and put yourself in the Kawhi Leonard realm, you're not at that level. So they offered you what they offered you. But the real problem was what? This man wanted a no-trade clause? Who the hell are you to ask for a no-trade clause? You were never a top 5, top 3 player in the NBA ever in your career. The nerve of you to ever think you deserve a no-trade clause.
I wanted to comment on that because I heard you say it in your morning rant. What type of a person wants a no-trade clause? Someone who doesn't believe in themselves. Someone who knows that they need a safety net. You shouldn't be worried about that.
That's exactly what it is. It speaks to the mindset of these guys. Once again, they're more concerned about their brand. They're not worried about the game. I always say this. If you think about it, Michael Jordan, and I know we don't have to bring up Michael Jordan here and stuff like that, but Michael Jordan is regarded by many people, by most people, as the greatest basketball player of all time. When we talk about Michael Jordan, we don't talk about the numbers. We don't talk about the accolades. We talk about what was inside of Michael Jordan, the competitor of Michael Jordan. That's what people talk about. Michael Jordan had a love of the game. This man had a no trade, a love of the game clause in his contract.
Right.
These guys have a no trade clause in their contract. You see
Can
the
you imagine
dynamic there
Michael?
between these players?
Can you imagine Michael wanting a no trade clause? In what scenario would he ever
Exactly.
have to do that?
Like you said, they worried about being traded. Why are you worried about being traded? You should be worried about going out there on the court and doing what you're supposed to be doing. But Pandemic P knows that he could be traded any moment because of the way he plays. Look what he's been doing for the Sixers since he's been on the team, man. This man is doing little to nothing, zero impact on the court.
For you moronic LeBron fans watching, stick around because I do have some clips from last night's game. You guys think that you have some sort of a point that I missed one game. You guys,
Yes, yes, the czar.
you guys are clueless. And let's talk about the bench. By the way, Cam Reddish was in the starting lineup when they won the in-season tournament. So I don't know how this is some sort of a revelation.
Great
But
point.
let's remember that Gabe Vincent was part of the starting lineup for the Miami Heat that went to the finals. And then the Lakers went out and got him. How is Gabe Vincent crap now? As they call him, someone who, they don't have any bench. Scottie Pippen Jr. showing out. All he had to do was escape from LeBron James. Your bench, you're complaining about the bench when you wasted a spot on your bench with the Bronny James move. It's just incredibly absurd. By the way, will they bring Quincy back up for some games? I wanted to say something positive about the Quincy thing because even G Leaguers make more than teachers make in the United States of America. So it's not like his life is completely over with, but definitely dreams crushed. But if he were to come up, those guys make $5,000 a game if they were to bring him up. But they have that option, right? Isn't that the whole point? Being able to bring people up from the G League if you need them.
Right.
So if they don't do that, then what the hell? Are you ready? You ready to see some of LeBron's effort?
Yeah, listen, I wanted to touch briefly
Sure.
on some of the things that you mentioned with the teammates there and some of these other guys, because, see, this is what we're talking about when we talk about the narratives and the excuses that they're always making, the standard that they're lowering. Because remember, coming into last year, all the reports coming in, even Dave McNamara, Brian Windhorst, even the media members reporting coming in was what? That LeBron James was the healthiest that he's been in
Right.
years. That was the key word. He was the healthiest he's been in years coming into that season. He looked great. Remember, he looked like he was 18 again. He looked like he was 25. Right. He was looking so great. And they said the roster was revamped and retooled, ready to go. Darvin Ham was ready to go. I remember those words specifically, retooled. So all of those guys that are on the team now were on the team last year. It's the same guys. But what do you remember last year? After the in-season tournament and the celebration, all of a sudden, things started to get a little rocky. The team started to lose a lot of road games, and they wanted to trade guys. They had to trade D'Angelo Russell. They had to trade Anthony Davis. They needed to get rid of Cam Reddish. They needed to get rid of this guy and that guy. So now this year, what do we see? The first 3 games, 3-0. JJ Redick is a genius. He figured it out. We know what to do. It was Darvin Ham's fault. That's what they're saying. And now they've been on the road, and they went 1-4 on the road, and their one win came in a game where they had a plus 28 free throw advantage against a Toronto Raptors team without their best player, Scotty Barnes. So what are we talking about here?
Here, I got a screenshot to share. This sums up LeBron James in the game that they were bragging about his effort, and that's him trying to guard Ja Morant. If LeBron James, if you want to praise LeBron James for his effort, put his ass on somebody that's difficult to guard, because I saw D'Lo was the one tasked with trying to guard Ja Morant. Shut your mouth and bring something to the table, LeBron. Here's the beginning of that sequence. There's LeBron. Look where the position of the ball is with Ja. And a little bit later, LeBron James, no hand up.
Hands down.
Still stuck. Wow. Look at his shooting form. That's LeBron James's defense. Wow. Look at the shooting form of the guy draining it in my face.
Yup.
Let's
This is what we're
we can
talking about. Hands down. LeBron James, I tell people all the time, if you ever look at the LeBron James defensive stance, it's terrible. He always has his hands down at his side, palms facing downwards. Like he's so good on D that he don't need to have his hands up. He's like he plays defense like that boxer that puts their hands down and dares you to take a punch at him, like Roy Jones Jr. used to do, and he would dare guys to swing. That's how LeBron James plays defense. I'm gonna keep my hands down because I'm so athletic and so good that if you try to make a pass or do something, I'm gonna react and have my hands up. Look at Michael Jordan's defensive stance when he played defense. Look at guys like Kobe Bryant and the Kevin Garnett's and the great defensive guys, man. This guy, LeBron James, man, don't know how to play defense. He's a goofball out there.
Well, he's got his eyes wide open, so he must have been serious. He probably was saying the F word too. Drop the F bomb. He's trying to impress people there. Or no, he's actually just deer in headlights. Let's show some of these clips. We'll show them a couple of times throughout the day. But
let's do it.
Listen, I didn't have to get very far. These are the first plays of the game. First plays of the game in context. This was in preparation for the show today. I've got the game against the Grizzlies in which LeBron James was praised for his effort in a losing game. This computer is not powerful, so it'll take a second. I might have to play it a couple of times. Is that stalling on you guys? Okay, look at LeBron's flat-footed ass watching the game. Look at just how's your view of the play, LeBron?
Yeah, no movement whatsoever. No whatsoever.
Zach Edey just muscles the ball away from what's his name? Let's watch this all the way through. You see, I mean, listen, I know that that's not LeBron's man, but can you like lift a hand or try to intimidate Shaw?
See, and this is what we're talking about when we say that, you know, okay, so LeBron James is standing around. Okay, we have a laugh, and we always criticize LeBron James for doing that. But what compounds the whole thing with LeBron James and where you lose the respect of the fans is when you go in the post-game press conference or you talk to the reporters and you start talking about we have to do this, we have to get back on defense, and you don't take any accountability. Instead, as the leader, LeBron James should clearly say, hey, you know what? I got to get my butt back on D. I'm not giving the same effort that I need to give as the leader out here. I should be better. I'm supposed to be better. These are the things that LeBron James should be saying out here. It's not necessarily you taking a blame or you being like, yeah, it's all on me, blame me, blah, blah, blah. It's about you saying that you making it about yourself. I have to give more effort. I got to get back as the leader because they're only going to get back if I'm getting back. I'd say the same thing on my channel all the time, guys. I've been around many leaders in my life, man, whether it was my parents, whether it was people that I interacted with them in the military, or people that I've come across in my everyday life, man, and I've taken some from these people. The one thing that I've learned from all of these people that have been in my life is that you lead by example. You lead by example. It's a do as I do, not as I say mentality with these people. So what does that mean? What that means is that they're going to do the things that you should be doing too. And you should be doing it because they're doing it and they're leading you that way. What LeBron James does when he comes to a post-game press conference and says, well, we got to get back on D. We got to do this. We got to do that. What you're saying is that you're not taking any ownership. When LeBron James says everyone needs to do their jobs, you're not taking ownership because you're not doing your job. I've never seen in my life Michael Jordan or any great player be shoved in the back by one of their teammates because they're not doing their job. And then you say to do your job. So you're basically saying, do as I say, but not as I do. And that's not going to get it done.
And I got to throw this out there, but we can't really talk about it because we won't come back from it. LeBron fans are attracted to LeBron because of the type of people they are. They're the type of people who don't want accountability. They're the type of people that look for excuses. They're the type of people that can't get it done, but want to explain away their failures. the guy that you call the GOAT represents, he epitomizes everything that I just said. So that's who you are. If you're a LeBron fan, it's because you need someone out there to tell you it's okay to not be accountable and to have excuses when you can't get it done. All right, don't I'm not even going to let you start up because I know we won't come back. Now, look at the clock, you guys. Let me put this back on before I go to the next clip. Look at the clock. It's the freaking beginning of the game. I'm not cherry picking. All I did was turn it on and say, well, okay, there's my first example. And it's not the greatest example. You think that LeBron James didn't get massively worse than that throughout the night? Let's go to example number 2. And again, I have a weak little laptop here. Might take a moment. Let's let it load up.
Yo, hey, wait, give me like 2 minutes, man. I'll be right back, all right?
Sure.
2 minutes, man.
All right. Oh, I would go get a beer, but no one's here to run the show for me. I'll let you guys look at this clip until Sports and Fitness Rants gets back. I'm sure you know where I'm going to go with this. Look at the clock again. 11:13. This is like right after the previous play that I showed. So LeBron James is going to drive and fail and stop out of bounds. And he's done. And what do you know? LeBron James's failure turns into 2 points for the other team. My God, the number of transition points that the other team gets based off of LeBron James and his failure. Let me put another screenshot up while we wait for Sports and Fitness Rants to come back. All right, you guys see that arrow? And there's a little figure there that you can barely see. That's LeBron James still at the baseline at the other end, watching. The freaking nerve. Look at the 3 Lakers running back to try and make up for what LeBron James did. And the nerve to praise LeBron James for giving effort, and not just praising LeBron James, but trash the rest of the team. Hey man, welcome back. I got
sorry about that.
No, not at all. I got a screenshot here for you. And that, I should show that. Well, you know who that is over there on the baseline, the tiny little figure that you can barely see because he's so far away. All right. So,
of course.
Now let's go back to the clip that I showed everyone else while you were away, but we'll get your feedback on it. So we got LeBron James missing and quitting. And we'll play that back. I think Edie may have gotten a piece of that, but look at LeBron. Look at his urgency.
Yep.
Now, listen. You can't always be the guy who gets back and blocks it, but the rest of the team has to run down to try and make up for the transition point opportunity that LeBron James created. And I said while you're away, how dare you rip? Right. How dare you rip on the rest of the Lakers who are having to run to make up for what LeBron James did? Lead by example.
Right.
And at that point in time, that's where that screenshot was from. At the point in time that the ball went in, he was still here at the other end. All right, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Uh-oh, I think we're having a connection issue. And there you are. Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just gonna say, add on to what you were saying, like you said, yeah, you can't always be the guy to get back, right? Every great play doesn't always get back. We're not talking about being perfect. Once again, the key is the consistency. This is what we're alluding to when we talk about LeBron James. The lack of consistency when he's getting back on the defense, when he's giving the effort on the defense. You're not consistent. It's not about being perfect, getting back every single play, but the consistency at which LeBron James complains on the court, the consistency, like you said, at which he doesn't hustle back, that's what stands out more often than not. That's what contributes to your team being one of the worst teams in transition defense. One of the worst teams in defense in general. That's what happens.
You wouldn't have, listen, if you're a good leader, these things don't happen on your team. These things don't happen on your team. And if you're also the GOAT or an intimidating player, someone like Ja Morant shoving him in the back out of frustration, Ja will never get away with that. Now, I don't want to condone violence. I don't want to say that LeBron James coming down and trying to fight Ja is the right way to respond. But you also don't let someone just get away with it. LeBron James just started looking around like he didn't know what happened. You punish him in the game. You know, let's leave whether or not he should shove him back or talk to him. At a minimum, talk. But Michael Jordan would humiliate you by scoring on you nonstop. He would tell his teammates, switch. I'm going to destroy him now. LeBron James doesn't have that in him. He doesn't have the capability, nor does he have the willingness or the dog.
Like you said, it's the mindset. LeBron James don't have that mindset like that. And that's what a lot of people have been talking about for years. The lack of mentality for LeBron James. So he's willing to sacrifice on the defensive end to continue to be playing at this point in time of his career. If LeBron James would have gave half a damn on the defensive end over the last 10 years, this man would not have been able to be playing right now. But that's the whole point here. He's continued to give half the effort or little to no effort on the defensive end to continue to play, continue to take 20 shots a game, continue to collect these flat-footed rebounds, these non-hustle rebounds to inflate his statistics, to make it seem as if he's doing something out there. But every single year, his team is fighting for playing.
I've got 3 more plays to show because that's all that Restream would allow me with my plan to upload. Otherwise, I could show the entire game of examples of LeBron James being a joke on effort. So I should show all of them so that all of our viewers have a chance to digest it and think about it before we let people call in. So let's look at another clip. And again, notice the clock. We're in the first period. I'm not cherry picking. This is just as the game goes. Come on, laptop. You can do it. You can do it. Come on. I hate when I'm on the road. Sorry, everybody. But this was the opportunity that Sports and Fitness Rants and I had to bring you a live show, so we couldn't pass it up. Come on now. Here we go. Reloading.
The sad reality is that we know what it is. We know what's going on.
Look, LeBron's leaving. LeBron's already leaving. Don't talk about effort. Don't talk about effort. Now look where this rebound goes to. If LeBron makes any effort whatsoever, he's got at least 50% chance of getting that rebound. Now he just casually jogs up next to that guy. I mean, and then he brings the ball within striking distance. LeBron doesn't do a damn thing. Who made the effort there? This is what
we're saying. The effort, man. This is why you have 2 offensive rebounds on the season. This is why Trae Young is averaging more offensive rebounds on the season than LeBron James. Because at 6'9", 260, training every day, flexing muscles, doing all this stuff, you're not giving the effort. The effort must match. It's not matching.
And again, I'm not saying LeBron has to be the key in every play, but don't end the game talking about effort and he's the only one that made effort. That's Austin Reeves that challenged Ja at the other end. That's Dalton Connect that beats LeBron James down the court, even though LeBron has a head start on him.
Look These are the things that we're talking about when you're the leader. Rebound. You're supposed to be doing it. It's supposed to be the details. The details should matter. Like we said, you should be consistently giving that effort. LeBron James is always picking and choosing really when to exert himself. So yeah, there'll be times out there that he makes a solid defensive play. And you're like, hey man, good defense by LeBron James. He actually gave some effort there. But more often than not, he's doing what you're showing.
And it's interesting, like I said, I was on the road. So the first thing I had to do was look at highlights. And of course, the highlights made it look like LeBron James put in effort, but that's what highlights do.
Yep.
Hey, we're watching the game now. We're still in the first period, Look at LeBron. This is the reality when you don't just look at the highlights.
That's the reality.
And LeBron's leaving. He's fucking leaving. And he isn't the one who makes the stop. Austin Reeves does. Listen, how in the hell, let me pause it. LeBron's leaving, and yet he's not the one who makes the steal.
Yep.
He's got the head start to be on defense. Someone else out hustled him to get the steal. Do not talk about no one else gave effort when someone outran him to get that steal. I don't understand the need to clown on the rest of the Lakers. That's effort.
He was out
right
there in
there.
no man's land. See, once again, being a lollygagger, he didn't even attempt to crash the boards, not even attempt, and not even a bit. And see, this is what we're saying. The Lakers are one of the worst in the league, and they're one of the offensive teams in the league. And like we said, you think that it's ironic that LeBron James is not giving effort on defense and he doesn't read. It's not ironic that the things that the Lakers are not good at or the things that the leader is not doing. Once again, Anthony Davis is one of the elite defenders and one of the best rebounders in the game. Think about that. And they're not good at rebounding or defense. But this is insane.
Go ahead, LeBron fans that are watching. Explain to all of us, as you can see, LeBron's already leaving the screen, that's high IQ basketball. You guys actually bought into that. Sometimes I think that the Nick Wrights of the world and the Brian Windhorst of the world come up with the most absurd thing possible to say just to see if LeBron fans will repeat it. You're like, let's see how fucking dumb these people are. Will they actually believe that not playing defense is high IQ basketball?
And I want to say something else, because there's something else that we must talk about when you talk about the teammates and we're talking about impacting the people around you and making them better. What you notice with some of the players that have been playing with LeBron James now for careers, for example, and I saw someone in the comments say something about Austin Reeves and not really liking him that much anymore. He's becoming unlikable. Why? Because he's starting to act like LeBron James out there. You will see Austin Reeves flail and moan and cry for fouls, phantom foul calls, just learning from LeBron James. When I talk about do as I say, not as I do, the one thing that LeBron James teams do is they have their palms up, shoulders shrugged, always complain for foul calls. And on the flip side, they get the most foul calls every single season. Thank you, Austin Reeves. That's the way to learn from LeBron James.
It is astonishing. It's astonishing how much Austin gets away with. And let's look, years ago, his rookie season, I was like, damn, look at this kid. He showed out, especially remember when LeBron and AD both decided to sit out the end of the season when the Lakers started playing well? And I'm talking to nobody except for you guys watching. I'm going to save it. Here, I'll play the clip until he didn't even say goodbye. Are you okay, buddy? Did you fall down? All right, let's play the clip until Sports and Fitness Rants gets back. Oh, yeah. That's where LeBron. And jaw is going up. I went ahead and started the clip without you. LeBron flat-footed as can be with the guy that he switched on to. Obviously, this is a problem with LeBron James guarding Ja. Now I got to play after that. Let me go check the comments while we wait for Sports and Fitness Rants to come back. I did put um, a super chat up on the screen. Oh, it went away because I changed screens. Sorry. He didn't say anything. He just gave a super chat, and I want to say thank you. Let's see if we got any other super chats. Not that other people don't deserve to be read, but definitely need to acknowledge the people that go through the effort to do that.
Yo, I'm sorry, man. I got some things going on right now. Forgive me, man. I'll be with you in a second, man.
All right, you need to go for a second?
Nah, I'm right here. Just give me a second, man. I'm right here, though. I'm with you, man.
No worries. I'll read some viewer comments. Rap God says LeBron stopped playing defense for about 10 years. He's so lazy. The garbage time only puts effort when he sees the points per game dropping below 20. ESPN trying to sell LeBron on the people still. It's crazy how much effort they put into that. Bruce says, love you guys. Forget Jordan. LeBron is nowhere close to being as good as Magic and Bird. Yeah, I don't like. I mean, LeBron does not belong in a conversation with Jordan. We are self-conscious about the fact that they're included in the conversation, but it's really because people idolize LeBron. And who's the exact opposite of LeBron? It would be Michael Jordan.
I'm sorry, man. I had the cable guy here, man, and he was hooking me up, man. So I was running back and forth, man, and trying to get this thing situated, man. I'm trying to get my internet a little bit stronger, man, where I am right now. So I'm sorry, AOH, man. Forgive me, man.
Hey, it's an investment. It's gonna make your show better, right? In the future.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But I'm sorry, man. Thank you.
No, not at all. You I know you've covered for me plenty of times.
Would anybody say anything good in the comments you were reading off? I'm sorry, I didn't hear them.
I was trying to find some super chats. Nothing spectacular.
Anybody ask us any questions?
I didn't see them. Let's get through these plays and then we'll let people call in. And I've got several topics that I emailed you, and I put it in the description. That's where the
absolutely. Reeves, I'm ready to go on anything. You know that, man. I'm not done.
There's LeBron getting it drained in his mug while he's still flat-footed, and then there's a play after this. Look at LeBron after the play. How's he the one giving effort? Everyone else has already sprinted up the court, and we've already lost sight of LeBron James. Again, he doesn't have to be perfect, but don't tell lies about he's the only one who gave effort. Where is he? Now, check this out. This is why I kept this one. He didn't get back, and so there he is at half court. There's a turnover, and he's still, despite being the Laker who didn't get back, can't be the one who stops the play. And Ja loses the ball. LeBron James should have gotten that loose ball. And here we go again. Go ahead.
No, I mean, like I said, I'm just saying, like watching these clips, man, it's just mind blowing to me how anybody could literally, like, you'll hear a lot of LeBron James fans say, "Oh, you guys didn't watch the game. You guys didn't watch the game. You guys don't watch the game." Okay, let's say that we don't watch the games and you guys are watching every single minute of every game of LeBron James. That actually makes you guys look 10 times worse. You're sitting there telling me that you watch this nonsense on a daily basis and you think that's basketball? You respect that? You think there's any honor in that kind of level of effort and consistent lack of leadership? You agree with these kinds of things? It's okay that he walks off the court and flops around. It's okay that he cries and yells at the referees like a little child. You watch every minute of this and think that's okay. You guys are weird, man. This is what we're talking about. You're not watching the games, because if you did, then you would notice what we're highlighting here. And we're not a highlight. Like my man AOH said, no one's cherry picking a play here or play there. These are the consistent habits of your leader.
Look at the clock. I can't even get through the first period. And the only reason I only have as many examples as I do is because I'm not allowed to upload more. Look at him coming down. He is standing straight up. Bend over and get the ball. Get the ball that D'Lo, who did make the effort against the best player on the other team, managed to cause a loose ball. And what does he do? He just runs standing straight up. Oh, that's too much effort for me. Got another example here. Oh, that's a still frame of LeBron James playing defense. What's this dude's name with the ball? It was the most effortless pump fake I've ever seen in my life. And LeBron just goes flying by.
Oh my goodness.
You can't tell me that guy has fast footwork. Oh, now I'm being racist against my own white people, but you can't. It's not like Jaw shook him. This guy made the most obvious pump fake and then stepped to the right, and LeBron's out. He's out of the play. It's over with. And then
look, you got some people in the comment sections talking about blame the people who allow it. What do you mean blame the people who allow it? Once again, you guys are part of the problem here, man. You're not holding the lead of LeBron James to any standard. What do you mean who allows it? LeBron James literally has gone on in what? His fourth coach now in the Lakers? I mean, what are we talking about here? They had Luke Walton, they had Frank Vogel, they had Darvin Ham, and now they have his boy JJ Redick. And you guys are gonna sit there and talk about blame the people that are enabling him? Enabling him, he's the guy. There is no one enabling him. This is LeBron James. This is what we're talking about. And you guys still won't hold him to any standard. You're blaming the general manager? What kind of control do you think Rob Pelinka has over what goes on in that team? More so than LeBron James? We're blaming Jeannie Buss now. We know that they're worthless, man, that they're not running the show. That's the whole point, you clowns.
We'll entertain this for a moment because it is hard to say who allows it. You mean everyone? I mean, what's happened to the league when it's allowed? How about if once again we look at the person that you're claiming is inspiring? If LeBron James was inspiring, it wouldn't matter who's allowing it. Take it upon yourself to be better. Take it upon yourself to be inspirational. I mean, again, forgive me for bringing up Michael Jordan because they don't belong in the same conversation, but Michael Jordan wasn't interested in the excuses, the opportunity to sit out the rest of that season, the opportunity for the Bulls to tank. He wanted to play. He wanted to compete. And he was going up against impossible odds against those Celtics. Do you know how many players today would see who was waiting around the corner and be like, yeah, I will sit out. Fuck that shit. I don't want that challenge. They're so soft now. They don't want that challenge. Oh yeah, we don't have very good odds of winning that one. I think I'll go ahead and milk this injury and not play.
It's crazy, man. It really baffles me, man. Like I said, the level that people, they don't hold LeBron James to the same standard. These people are more concerned with Michael Jordan. They're more concerned with Scottie Pippen. They're more concerned with what other players say about Michael Jordan rather than worry actually about what LeBron James is actually not doing out there on the basketball court. And they have the nerve to blame other people. This guy's talking about who writes the checks and all these weird things. It writes the checks. Writing the check. Are you sitting there telling me that once again you guys are taking all culpability away from LeBron James and all the trades that he demands, all the people that he's got on his team? Anthony Davis is literally there because he's part of his clutch client member. He has his own agency for players, and you have the nerve to come here and talk about who writes the checks. The man had a player request a trade and join him. You guys sound ridiculous, man. Wake up. Wake up.
Can we have one of you illiterate LeBron fans call in and try to talk and explain exactly what hating means? Because like they use this word hate as if there's some deeper meaning to it, as if it explains away everything. Go ahead and define it.
I want to say something about the hate. I'm sorry, wait. I got to go off on this real quick, man.
Go. I'll be right back. You go up.
Yeah, when we talk about the word hate and everyone talks about hate, remember, as soon as you mention the word hate, you've lost all credibility. No one's listening to you after that. You've lost everything after that because once again, you're not living in reality. These are the facts here, and the facts can never be hate. The information I'm giving you is never hate. Let's think about something right now, guys. When LeBron James came to LA, when he came to the Lakers, you guys remember they built this mural. Someone put up this mural of LeBron James. And I'm not condoning vandalism of any kind. But you guys remember what happened to that mural of LeBron James when he came to LA? Why do you guys think that that happened? Because people do not respect LeBron James. He's not respected. This has nothing to do with hate. I told you, I do not care what happens to LeBron James. I do not wish harm on LeBron James. I don't know him personally. I don't give a damn about this man as a husband or a father or a friend or an uncle or any of this stuff. I don't hate him. I don't think about LeBron James like that. What I tell you is I don't respect LeBron James. I don't respect him as another grown man. I do not. So what I'm telling you guys are the facts here, and people don't respect LeBron James. That's why they vandalized his mural. So all you fools out there don't understand the difference between hate and respect.
Okay, so label it hate, you incredibly intelligent sports fans. Did that make anything that I just showed not exist? Does it make anything I've ever showed not exist? And then you fools that talk about cherry picking, I couldn't even get through half of the first period before I had more examples than I could use of the most recent game. First period of the most recent game that he supposedly showed great effort. Don't talk about cherry picking. I don't even have to try. I don't even have to talk about effort. I don't have to put forth any effort to show how pathetic LeBron James is.
You got somebody talking about obsession. Buck Bradley, some idiot out here talking about an obsession with LeBron James. You sound ridiculous. Once again, all I see on TV is ESPN talking about LeBron James. All I see on these shows, these podcasts, is people talking about Michael Jordan and LeBron James. So what are you talking about? You sound ridiculous. You guys are a bunch of idiots, man. I dare any one of you fools to make a channel, put yourself on camera, make some videos. You guys don't do that. You're over here crying about we're talking about LeBron James. I've done videos on my channel about players on players that you've never even heard of. I've done videos on Mark Jackson. I've done videos on Brad Daugherty. I've done videos on George Mikan. I've done videos on people, once again, you've never even heard of. Kevin Johnson, Gerald Wilkins. You've never even heard of these guys. I've done videos on John Starks. It's not just about LeBron James. What we talk about on our channels is setting the record straight. Anyone that knows my channel knows what I'm doing. I set the record straight. I mentioned Michael Jordan and the LeBron James dynamic because that's all people talk about on the internet, on the mainstream media, is some kind of fake comparison. So once again, I told you, when they stop talking about Michael Jordan and bringing up Michael Jordan and trying to tear down the errors of the past, then we'll start making videos. Don't come on here and talk to me about no obsession, man. You guys sound ridiculous. Once again, man, you don't make any sense, man. It's not an obsession, and we're setting the record straight. It's very important that we don't allow them to rewrite the history. You guys don't get that. You're part of the problem.
Yeah, I mean, most of what we talk about is a retaliation to a lie that the pro LeBron James media just put out. We're not coming up with this crap out of nowhere. So what you guys are really saying when you say stuff like that is, don't mess with our illusion. Just keep your mouths shut and go with the flow. Keep your mouths shut. Don't protest any of the bullshit that's being put out there. You don't want to hear anything that contradicts your fragile little fake world. It's a fragile little fake world that you fragile little feminine weirdos that look up to a failure exist in. And you don't want anyone messing with that. So you just label it all as hate. It's reality. So I'm just going to replace every time you say the word hate with reality. Y'all are just realitors. We're just realitors.
That's why they crying in the comment section. You fools can say whatever you want. That's why you guys won't put your face on camera. Remember, LeBron James is a coward. All his fans are cowards. You guys cry and moan. You guys get 1 billion comments on my channel, but no videos on your own channel. How do you have so much time for comments, but you don't have time for a 5-minute video? You guys can't put the information out there? You guys can't break down the game? There's nothing to break down because LeBron James' game is basic, boring, and bland. You guys know that. We know that. I got the facts. Every Sunday, we got a show. You guys never call up. You guys never show up. You guys just crying the. It's the same fools over and over again. Look at you clowns. You guys can't say nothing. Oh, you guys talk about LeBron James. But every single time that me or AOH come up on here, you guys are here thirsty for more because you want the info. Once again, we don't just talk about LeBron James, but unfortunately, you guys, I see you guys in the comments, I don't watch ESPN. It's not just ESPN. Every day I wake up, people send me emails. They send me messages from Instagram, from TikTok, from this podcast, from this guy's podcast. Everyone's got something to say about Michael Jordan now. Everyone's got something to say about the 80s and the 90s. Everyone's got something to say about LeBron James versus Michael Jordan. Once again, man, we're setting the record straight. Don't cry. Put your face on camera. I dare you.
Hey, real quick, for people who want to get a head start on the next topics we're going to talk about, if you want to call in, what I have lined up is Uncommon Sense had a clip of D Wade being like, "That wasn't me," with the whole ridiculous LeBron James predicting to get 7 titles. Do you guys want to let D Wade off the hook or not? We'll get into that. Also, the weirdness of LeBron James, the guy who hasn't won anything yet, being the one talking out his ass on that stage, made me think about his epic failure and how much help, how that super team was constructed, and they failed anyway. And I started thinking about the other small forwards that were in the league at the time and how much more successful the Miami Heat may or may not have been if they had simply put someone else in LeBron's spot with all the other help that they put together. We'll get into that in a little bit. I also have a topic. Who deserves a statue in Cleveland first, Kyrie or LeBron? And we'll get into why I say it's Kyrie. So you guys mull that over. And of course, what did we already talk about? Soft ass Paul George, the ridiculous lies about LeBron James's effort, crowning JJ as a genius 1 second and letting him off the hook. What was with that ridiculous walk out of a press conference? Like, does everyone just have to act like a child now?
Yup. No one. These guys are so sensitive now. No, I mean, look at these guys in the chat. They're all the same. They're the same mentality. Everyone's all sensitive now, man. These guys can't take the truth. You know, there was an old saying when I was growing up, man. It was called "the truth hurts." And that's what happens to these guys. These new little young kids out here in the comments, these basketball players with the mentality like this. The truth hurts them. When we come out here as true basketball fans and we hold the integrity of the game, we hold the standard, and we criticize these guys, what do? They make burner accounts. They start coming out here with their podcast and start crying and moaning about how they're not being treated fairly or this or that. All these guys are sensitive. They'll start, look at Kevin Durant. This guy's cursing at fans online. He's talking down to the common folk, saying that we ain't nothing. Our opinions don't matter. Who are we? Dude, he really thinks he's better than us. You're not better than us, man. You're nobody, man. You play basketball. So what? You're not a better man than me or any of this stuff. But someone like Kevin Durant, who calls himself a basketball god, he thinks he's above the regular common folk. So how dare we make comments or judge him or critique him as fans of basketball? And you have clowns out here that think because we didn't play in the NBA, we don't have a voice. We don't have a right to say anything. Are you kidding me? We literally make the actual NBA. There is no NBA for these guys to play in if people ain't going to the games, if people ain't watching them, if people ain't buying the merchandise. What brand are you going to have? So once again, as I'm talking about holding your guys to a standard, if you want to back somebody or get behind a player, then he should be standing behind the values and the things that you stand behind. If they're not doing that, then I'm not going to support them. And LeBron James, to me, is a dirtbag. And a lot of these other guys, like someone like that, you get sensitive. These guys can't take anything now. They're going at fans. They're getting them ejected from the stand. And they make it about, oh, this guy said this to me. Once anyone says to you, words should not be affecting you. You should be a professional.
Blaine, thank you for the super chat. Baby Lemon.
Blaine Almeida, much respect.
So you got a preference? You want to talk about who could have been a replacement for LeBron, or you want to talk about Kyrie getting a statue first?
Well, I mean, listen, you said that Kyrie Irving should get a statue before LeBron James. So let's go with that. Let me hear why, the reasoning that you believe that. Because LeBron James fans, they're not going to want to hear that.
I mean, I don't really think either of them should necessarily. It's like now it's like becoming expected that everyone deserves a statue. So I don't really necessarily think Kyrie deserves one. But look, Kyrie delivered a championship for Cleveland. The narrative is that LeBron did, but Kyrie delivered a championship on that championship team, and it only cost Cleveland $56 million in the salary that they paid to Kyrie Irving. LeBron James The first time he was there and delivered nothing and quit on them cost them 60. And then his quick stint when he came back and saw that there was an opportunity there made another 34. So LeBron James cost them 94 million to deliver, and Kyrie did it in a shorter period of time. And LeBron James also cost them a lot of draft picks. LeBron James also, it's amazing to me that someone who didn't have the decency with a town or an organization that he supposedly loved to just go and talk to them in behind closed doors and say, hey, I'm not going to stay. Do what you need to do in the off season to get ready for the next year. No, he waited until a live event when it was already too late for the team, not knowing what was going to happen because it was about LeBron. Don't ever pretend that LeBron cares about Cleveland. Stop it. LeBron cares about himself. The way he treated Cleveland both times that he left is despicable. Champion or no championship, 5 championships, that alone means no statue to me. LeBron James drove Kyrie out. LeBron James is the reason that Cleveland lost Kyrie. And then, of course, the money was the easiest way for me to show, hey, look, Kyrie was there when LeBron was there and they won the championship. Kyrie showed out in those finals, and Kyrie only cost them 56 million. So that's my presentation on if you're going to choose one of the two. I would choose Kyrie. And motherfuck, he's not even there. I hope everyone else liked my rant.
Up, man. I'm trying to get this straightened out. I don't know if you can hear me.
I don't. Hey, I hear you now. Did you hear anything that I said? Because I went off for a while.
No, I heard all the stuff you were talking about with the teammates in Cleveland and stuff. And I was going to respond to some of the things that you said. Because when we talk about Cleveland Cavaliers history, and you're talking about, Kyrie Irving, and we're talking about some of the things that, he cost the team. Like you talk about how Kyrie Irving didn't feel like, he was getting any appreciation or any respect in Cleveland. So he felt the need that he had to go. When people talk about Michael Jordan playing with Scottie Pippen, do they really believe that LeBron James would have made it work with Scottie Pippen all those years? He couldn't make it work with Kyrie Irving. He never made it work with anybody. The reason why he's been with Anthony Davis so long is what we were talking about earlier. The man literally gave himself up to LeBron James as a gift. Hey, I'll play with LeBron James. I'll leave my team. I'm not going to play for them anymore. But when you talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers, and we talk about the city of Cleveland, and we talk about the franchise of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and we think about that fan base. Now, I'm not from the Cleveland area. I'm not from Ohio. I can't speak for Cleveland Cavalier fans. But I can speak from being an overall basketball fan. When I talk about LeBron James is not one of the people's champs. He's not a people's champ. When you think about some of the players, you think about them in their relation to the city, to the fan base, right? So you think about like Larry Bird and how the Boston organization, the fan base of Boston feels about Larry Bird. He's a people's champ, man. He's like a Pied Piper. When you think about Kobe Bryant and what he meant to the city of LA, and you think about all the murals that are all around the world, over 300 murals of Kobe Bryant all over the world, man. It goes to the level of respect that Kobe Bryant earned, man. He was a people's champ, so to speak. When you think about Allen Iverson and the way that he's received by the Philadelphia fan base, the people of that city, right? He's a people's champ, what you would call a people's champ. When you think about LeBron James, man, like some people mentioned, he doesn't really have that, like when you think about him, you can't really associate him with an organization, kind of. He's not the greatest Miami Heat. We just heard Pat Riley say that Dwayne Wade is the greatest Miami Heat in the history of the NBA. We know that he's not the greatest Laker that's ever played for that organization. So it comes down to the city of Cleveland, the organization of the Cavaliers. And when you talk about Kyrie Irving, the shot that he made, the impact that it had on that franchise, it had on, the NBA finals in general, historically, and you think about the impact that LeBron James had as a people's champ. Is he really the people's champ for the Cleveland Cavaliers? I'll argue that there might be Cleveland Cavalier fans out there that maybe value more Price and what he meant to the city of Cleveland and the organization and how he played the game, the way that he carried himself more so than a LeBron James.
We have Mike Lowry calling in. And remember, everybody, if we can stay on the topics as we go through, we'll give everyone a chance to call in a second time. Right now, what's your take on my sort of a joke, but yet still with some validity, that Kyrie deserves a statue before LeBron does. Mike, is that what you were going to call about, or do you have something else to say? Cool.
I mean, listen, I don't. For me, when you think about the statues, like you said, it comes down to it being one of those things where, oh, let him go.
Mike, welcome back. You're on.
Hey, fellas, how y'all doing today, man?
All right, what
Good.
up?
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, man. I'm glad I could catch up with you guys, man. I'm normally
Word.
working when you guys do the live stream.
Yeah, we'll
Yo,
see
thanks
if
for
this
coming through,
Saturday
man.
works out. Yeah.
You
Which
see, I got the
topic?
command. You see, I got the Commander's jersey on, man. We
Ah,
we
much
we
Oh,
in
respect.
there, bro. It's
Yeah,
time,
much
man. We
respect.
in there. Yeah, for sure. I'm glad we were right, but yeah, man. The Dwayne Wade. All right. Well, first thing first, I got to jump on these comments in the live chat because I've been going left and right in the live chat with this PED talk, and these dudes keep trying. See, this is the thing. This is the thing. All right, this is my problem. Why we glazing LeBron James with this PED crap? You don't have to take PEDs to do what he's doing. He's not doing anything. He's just standing around. Like I know plenty of 50-year-olds, 45-year-olds. Shit, I'm 43, bruh. We are in great shape, bruh. We are built like that. We got six pack, all that, bruh. We got that. You know what I'm saying? Like physicals don't matter when it comes to PE. Dude ain't on PEDs doing what he's doing. If he was on PEDs, he'd be running around like Barry Bonds, y'all. Like, stop it. Stop it. PEDs, like we've seen guys on PEDs and they run around crazy. LeBron ain't doing that. He's not. He don't need PEDs. That's. I'm gonna just leave it right there. All
well,
right. Like y'all want to like.
can't you be on PEDs and still have a bad attitude? Because not giving effort is attitude.
You can have
When
a.
he,
You can be born with a bad attitude. The man's always had a bad attitude. He had a
Right.
bad attitude when I lost respect for him when he lost the Boston series. That was when he had. That was my first sign of his bad attitude when somebody
yeah,
supposedly got with his mother or whatever in the locker room. I don't know. Delonte West. Delonte West is funny. He's from down the street from where I am right now, and where he's from, man, you can get anything. I'm telling you, bro. Where he's from, bro, he's from the hood. You know what I'm saying? So if he was in that locker room, he's a hood dude in that locker room. I'm just saying,
I
But
think
I
anyway,
do.
LeBron James, if he's using anything, it's more so for the recovery. This is what LeBron James is using things for,
Hmm.
recovery. When we think about LeBron James, he's never had a significant injury. That's why it doesn't really make any sense for him to be load managing as often as he does when he talks about the shape that he keeps himself in. But for me, if he's using anything, it would probably be more so to help him recover from these games and his
And
training.
yeah,
I
true
don't
that.
spend that much time on it because even when it comes out, they're just going to excuse it. They're just going to say, "Well, it's fine. He was allowed to do that. There's nothing wrong with it." So I mean, there's always a way out for him. So it doesn't even make sense for me to spend that much time on it. Although I do think that his physical transformations certainly are interesting. There were those times where he looked pretty damn small, and then all of a sudden changed. But anyway, um,
Yeah,
uh,
I mean that's true. That's true. But I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because he's not really. It's not adding to his legacy. It's not adding to anything. He just
so are you
he's
saying that
just a
he
guy.
is your point that he's on them and it doesn't matter, or that he actually isn't on them?
No. My point is that he doesn't need them. Then what's the point of him being on them? There's no real
Well,
point.
yeah, dude,
No,
I
I
wish I
told you
was
the
43
recovery
again.
is very important here. It's very important. Listen, yeah, we don't have to listen. We don't have to debate if he's on him or not. It's like you said,
Yeah.
it's irrelevant as far as the overall. But when we talk about LeBron James, the reason why it's more impactful for LeBron James, is more meaningful for him, is because he pumps himself up himself. He pumps himself up as all the work that he does in the offseason. He's the one that talks about the millions he spends, the time and energy he spends on all these treatments and all the things that he does. So if you're gonna say that you have a cryo chamber, a personal chef, you get the sleep treatments, you're going through red light therapy, you're getting all these different massages, all of this stuff you're doing, but then yet yet and still you're load managing on the court. This is when LeBron James gets exposed. So yeah, you might be able to say, oh, LeBron James is not taking anything because it's not showing up on the court per se, but it is showing up because once again, LeBron James at this point in time of his career is still playing basketball. He's still jumping and running out there. He's just not doing these things consistently, but that goes to his mindset. That's his mentality. It's not necessarily his body not allowing him to do these things. He doesn't want to do these things. And like you said, he don't care. He just wants to go through the motions and lollygag on D, put his numbers up, and then still get the love from his fans. You know what I'm saying?
But Rob, you
Mike Lowry, thank you for calling. Please call back in. I'm going to let a couple of guys get in and then let you come back in if you want to. CJ's been waiting for a while. CJ, did you want to talk about one of these topics or something else?
Something else. I just wanted to rant a little bit about when they always call him the most scrutinized athlete ever. I think
oh God,
that is funny.
Make it fast. I'm going to throw up.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like they say that, and then this guy hasn't had to answer a single question about PEDs. He hasn't had to answer a single question about P. Diddy. He hasn't had to answer a single question about anything of substance at all. He hasn't had to answer a single thing about Cappy Pondexter at all. Where's the scrutiny? Where Michael Jordan is in the casino smoking cigars, gambling his own money away. We know he's not gonna sell you the game. He's gambling his own money away, but they're shitting on him for that. But LeBron James is out here doing all this, no scrutiny whatsoever. It's just hilarious.
Hey, you're just hating. I just threw everything you said out the window. You're just hating. That's the only argument necessary. You're just hating.
Yeah, but that's all I got, fellas. Great show.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Yo,
CJ.
thanks for calling in, man.
I should throw the.
No, you're right, man. That goes to the accountability, man. That's what he's talking about. There's no accountability for LeBron James. Like he said, he never has to answer any questions. He never has to get any pushback. So, like you said, JJ Redick will literally come to the post-game press conference and say everyone else didn't give any effort but LeBron James. He was the only one giving effort, yet and still we can clearly see LeBron James not giving the effort.
And not only him not giving the effort, but clearly the other guys were giving effort. Why would you? And by the way, how many times have the rest of the Laker teammates in other games in the last 5 years had to play 4-on-5? I mean, I got to tell you, it's not the right thing to do, but if I were a Laker teammate, I'd kind of feel like giving up out there. I mean, he's not making me feel like I should try because he's not showing that he's willing to try most of the time. I don't like JJ shitting on his own teammates is like an over effort to promote LeBron James. And let's put in some Darvin Ham defense here because supposedly Darvin Ham lost the locker room. Well, I've already heard a couple of times about JJ Redick losing the locker room, and we're only in the beginning of the season. And that was supposedly enough to warrant Darvin Ham being fired the way that he was fired. Hey, man, how do you feel about me going on to the next topic about the other small forwards? It's just kind of fun to look back in history to remember who was playing.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's go. Let's roll.
What if instead of LeBron James, the Heat had dumped that money and all of the moves that they made into getting Carmelo Anthony? These are, and listen, if you want to move pieces around, we don't have to limit this to small forwards. But for this conversation, I'm sticking with other small forwards that were in the league the year that move took place. Carmelo Anthony, Kevin Durant, your boy Kevin Durant, Danny Granger, Gerald Wallace, Rudy Gay, Andre Iguodala, the 76ers, Andre Iguodala, Paul Pierce. Yeah, well, what if Paul Pierce did that bitch move, left the Celtics and went down there? I had my ride here. I'm going to go cash in down there. Beasley was ranked number 10, by the way. I know
Wow.
he ended up, I remember him ended up being with LeBron, and he had someone who was ranked number 10. Hito Turkoglu, yeah. I mean, I mostly remember him on the Kings when they lost. Luol Deng. How about Luol fucking Deng? Mike Miller, who was a minimum person, according to LeBron James, was listed as number 13 of all small forwards in the league at the time that this article that I'm reading from Bleacher Report came out. Trevor Ariza, Karolinko, Batum, Corey Maggette. Which of those names stands out to you, or those of you who are listening, as someone who might have been a piece to go with all the other talent in Miami and delivered better than LeBron James did? And I'll open up the lines for that. But while we wait for some callers, what do you think about that, Sports and Fitness Rants?
Wow, I mean that was a really interesting list to say the least, man. Some of those guys' names I haven't heard in a while, with any kind of like meaning, really, like a Rudy Gay.
Well, remember,
Rudy Gay
I'm reading an article from 2010.
No,
so
right. No, that's what I'm saying. I haven't heard these guys' names in a while, so it's good to hear some of these guys' names. And like I said, when I think about someone like Rudy Gay at his best form was a pretty solid player on both sides of the ball, man. He had some really good length, Rudy Gay. He had a pretty nice mid-range jump shot. He could take it to the hole. So shout out to Rudy Gay. You mentioned Paul Pierce and his ability to score the basketball. Is he the athlete of a LeBron James? No, he's not necessarily an athlete of LeBron James, but he had more leadership than LeBron James. He gave more consistent effort than LeBron James. And obviously, the main thing for someone like a Paul Pierce, for example, would be Paul Pierce's ability to come through when it mattered most, to raise up in his, in the clutch play moments. LeBron James, that was part of the problem for the Miami Heat, is that LeBron James was known for being inconsistent at these times. And also, when we think about someone like Carmelo Anthony that you brought up initially, the thing about Carmelo Anthony, and I'm not a huge Carmelo Anthony fan. Like I said, I think that he kind of underachieved a little bit in his career as far as like what he could have got out of himself. To me, he never really was a solid defensive player, or even really a great rebounder, or you know what I'm saying, or a great leader, or so to speak. But if you think about Carmelo Anthony, what he would have brought to the table, and let's not forget though, before I go, remember they wanted Carmelo Anthony also on the team with LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. Let's not fail to mention that. So that would have been a super duper duper team. But I think Carmelo Anthony's ability to knock down perimeter shots, because remember, a lot of people say that LeBron James struggled against the zone defense of the Dallas Mavericks. Carmelo Anthony wouldn't have struggled that much against a zone because Carmelo Anthony could get to certain spots on the court and he's going to knock the shot down. And when we think about the struggles of LeBron James initially, the problem was that Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and the other players around LeBron James had to mold their games around him so that he could be more successful. Remember, Dwayne Wade said he had to go back and watch film of Michael Jordan. He studied film of Michael Jordan, mind you, to learn how to play off ball to help LeBron James. With Carmelo Anthony, they don't necessarily have to do that because Carmelo Anthony does not need the ball in his hands. All he needs to do is get to his spots, and you get him the ball, and he's going to knock the shot down.
I mean, you touched on so many things. We go over the Miami Heat years, and we go over everyone who's ever had to change their game to accommodate a guy who clearly isn't capable of changing his game. And it's just unbelievable that we even have to talk about this.
I mean, but like you said, you mentioned the Dwayne Wade and earlier you mentioned Dwayne Wade basically saying, like Uncommon Sense was saying, that it was LeBron James' idea to go out there and with that kind of bravado and make those kinds of statements. And what's interesting? What Dwayne Wade said, what I found the most interesting part of those comments is how he said there that LeBron James didn't know what it took to win a championship yet. That to me was really telling of why LeBron James went to the Miami Heat, why he chose the Miami Heat and Dwayne Wade, because he knew that he needed to learn how to become a winner. And Dwayne Wade said LeBron James didn't understand how hard it was going to be to win when he wanted to make those statements. And that's why Dwayne Wade said, I didn't think that was a good idea because I knew what it took to win. And I knew it was going to be hard to win 1, 2, 3, 4, damn near, not 6 or 7.
Yeah, you could tell that Dwayne Wade was uncomfortable because he'd gone through it. He was like, shit, back to back is next to impossible, much less what this fool is saying. But, at the same time, Dwayne Wade has chosen the path of furthering his career by glazing LeBron. And so I don't want to, it's hard for me to sympathize with him because he knows deep down what LeBron is, what he was, and yet he's willing, for the sake of apparently money, to just shut. I don't know. Half the time he's shutting his mouth, and then he's doing this kind of like half exposing LeBron thing. And a part of me wants to feel bad for D Wade, and the other part of me is like, well, you're kind of not very respectable.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I'm sorry, wait. I keep cutting you off, man. My fault.
No, I'm stuttering, so cut me off.
No, listen, the problem for Dwayne Wade, when we talk about, and you mentioned this earlier with Anthony Davis, it's a similar dynamic here. Anthony Davis sacrificed a lot to come and join LeBron James. But does Anthony Davis really care? It doesn't really seem like he cares to sacrifice for his boy LeBron James. Dwayne Wade sacrificed to have LeBron James come there, and not only to have him come there, but also to change his own game for his friend LeBron James. And LeBron James never really repaid Dwayne Wade for those kinds of things. But when you think about Dwayne Wade, let's remember what happened going into the 2011 finals and how Dwayne Wade and both LeBron James mocked Dirk Nowitzki going into that game 3 or game 4. I can't remember which one it was. So when we think about that, that was Dwayne Wade, in fact, letting LeBron James do that and following LeBron James in that moment instead of pulling LeBron James inside and being like, yo, man, don't be clowning this guy, Dirk, man. He's a true professional. This guy's an all-time great. We don't want to give him any more fuel for the fire, so to speak. Let's be real here, and let's make sure that we focus on the task at hand. Because what happened after that? They ended up losing 3 games straight after that laugh.
Yeah, and instead of D Wade being like, you don't behave like that, D Wade got on board with it. Oh, this is a funny little joke for us kids to do.
Yep.
Because they thought that they had it. And, let's also note the cowardice of making fun of somebody when you thought that you were easily going to win.
Exactly.
Got some callers. What happened to my... God damn this fucking interface. Mike Lowry. Mike Lowry, somehow you're calling in twice. At the same time. Mike Lowry, you're back on.
I am back.
Let's do it.
I can't see you. I don't.
There we go.
Okay, Mike, you've got the stage.
I'm hearing a slight echo, guys. But I did want to say
it's got to be on your end, whatever you're hearing.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we've been able to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna have you call back in. The problem isn't on our end. We don't have an echo here. But feel free to call back in when it's all set on your end, Mike. What other topics did I email you about or say we should talk about?
Oh, man, that's a good question. I think we covered...
we've got weeks of anger that we haven't ranted about.
Listen, we've been talking about a lot of these things, man. And like I said, the funny thing is that we've been 100% on the money with this stuff. Everything that we said coming into the season, the things that we've been talking about the last couple of years, they've been going on. It's clearly Anthony Davis. I saw someone in the chat say that LeBron James being ranked around the 7th spot is accurate, is a fair criteria or a fair placement for LeBron James.
Oh, God.
Let's say that that's a fair placement. Let's say LeBron James is the 7th best player in the league. That's fine. You want to have him there? Okay. Like I said, that does more to take away from the current state of the NBA than anything. But let's put LeBron James 7th. That's fine. There's no way in hell that he's better than Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis needs to be 5th then, or 6th, or 4th, or 3rd, or 2nd. I don't care where he is. He needs to be above LeBron James. I don't give a damn where you put LeBron James. This man, Anthony Davis, is clearly better than LeBron James.
So I saw somebody in the comments being like, oh, well, nobody plays defense. This goes back to what I said earlier. You LeBron people look for a way out. You are the type of people who are attracted to a way out. You don't want accountability. I don't know if you had a dad, but your dad was probably a bitch. And you need to handle business. You don't look for someone else to point the finger at like a 3-year-old when the teacher comes in the room and catches you, and all you do is point at somebody else. Are you the leader? Are you the GOAT? Are you the face of the league? I mean, these are childish excuses that children use to excuse their behavior, and you're using it on somebody who's supposed to have done so much for the game of basketball. As you would say, a 40-year-old, or maybe them, or I'm sure by now they're saying that he's 45. And by the way, like Mike Lowry earlier talked about being 43 and balling. Dude, I wish I could go back to 43. I was a monster still at 43. I mean, I'm way older than that now. It's funny how time makes you miss the old days. Mike Lowry, I'm going to give you another shot. How's your audio?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm back.
All right.
I'm back. I'm good.
Go for it.
All right. Angry Old Hoops. I got a question for you. I got two things. One question for you, Angry Old Hoops.
Okay.
Why is it that they stopped you from blazing on the mic?
Who stopped you from glazing on the mic? What?
No, stopped you. Like, you used to smoke here and there. I would see some smoke like around, and it seems like they stopped you from, like, you don't smoke on the mic anymore.
Oh,
like on the camera.
No. I don't care what other people think.
They
didn't stop me. But when I'm hosting a show, listen, I don't function well with technology when I'm high. So I will.
Okay.
It's for y'all's sake. I will fuck up the show. If someone else is hosting, maybe I will, and maybe my mouth will get a little bit too free. I try to remain marginally respectable, but yeah, no, nobody stops me. Nobody stops me. And it's not. I don't know. Some people were talking like they thought it was illegal. Like, where is it still illegal? Where is it still
I heard
illegal
that too. I was like, what the heck is that about? But yeah, not here. That's for sure. But
this is what Mike's concerned about. Not smoking.
I was concerned. Does my man get his daily spinach? Does he get his spinach in? But my real question is, like, to you guys, like, instead of adding someone, like taking LeBron off of the Heat team and adding someone to it, how about we just take him off altogether? Just take him off.
Yeah.
And then how would they do if he was just not on the team at all? You know, they had a great cast. All they would probably need is a center, I would assume, like a marginal center that was better than what's his name? I forgot his name. But the Mr. 000 stat line. I know that. I know he had a 000 stat line at some games, but they just needed a marginal center. But yeah, Anthony, yeah. So like, take it, like, they just need a marginal center. That's it.
Well, that's who the center was when Miami won the championship. Anthony was there with them back then, and they brought down Ilgauskas too.
Yeah, he actually messed up Ilgauskas' championship in 2011.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
But you're right. You're right. All you need is somebody that doesn't make Jason Terry look like the fastest person on the planet. Just put someone else in there. Stop.
Just anybody.
That's the thing. LeBron James didn't even have to be LeBron James in the finals for them to win. He just needs to be more consistent. He needs to give more effort.
Right. So you could literally put anybody there and just take LeBron off and like kind of
better defense. They win.
Right. You could put a marginal defender.
Yeah. I mean, that's
I say Bonzi Wells. Let's put some Bonzi Wells. I say Bonzi Wells. Let's put him on the Heat and then take LeBron off. Bonzi Wells is my choice.
If I hadn't gone back and analyzed that footage, I would say that maybe that's a little strong to say marginal player. But LeBron's D on Terry was astonishingly bad. Astonishing. He looked like he was in concrete. It was astonishing.
And his turnovers were horrendous. I mean, terrible. I'm talking bouncing off the foot type of stupid stuff, like clownish behavior out there. Yep. With the turnovers.
G Coalition.
G
Coalition, I see you waiting. I'll have you on in a second. Mike, was that it for this one? Or you
thanks, guys.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
No, that's
it. G Coalition.
Hey, what's going on, good brothers?
Yo, what's up, man?
Yeah, I got a question. Yeah, happy Saturday too. I had a couple of actually not a couple. Well, I have one thing that I've been making a couple comments about here and there, but I kind of want to see if I could get your take on it. JJ Redick and his unprofessional rant throwing every single Laker under the bus except for LeBron James as if he was the only one putting effort, when we all see video footage that they had 4-on-5s with him being the odd man out.
Like in the first period. In the first
period, how many freaking times? How many times did you go over like examples of him slacking off in just the first quarter of that same game where he's supposed to be the only one putting in effort? And Redick is going around throwing shots like that at everybody else, throwing D'Lo Russell completely under the bus.
And listen,
the very next day, Bronny James ends up getting sent halfway to the G League. I say halfway because they're doing this half and half thing where he's taking part in the G League home games, but he's not going on the road with them, and he's going back and forth, and he gets to be with the actual NBA Lakers. But the fact that he had to even see the G League in the first place, the very next day after that JJ Redick rant, do you think that's connected somehow? Do you think that they had to send Bronny out, or at least make it look like they're sending Bronny out in order not to completely lose the locker room after what JJ pulled out there?
Yep. That's interesting. I don't know. What do you think, Sports?
What was the question?
Do you think that they had to I guess they used that as a leverage instead of showing that
they had to send Bronny to the G League in order to avoid losing the locker room after Redick's rant? Do you think that
they were going to lose if they didn't send Bronny soon? They were going to lose the locker room entirely, so they used this as a way to.
That's an interesting take, man. That's an interesting view on these kinds of things, man. See, this is what we're talking about, and this is why the word I use a lot on my channel is leadership. And I think people underestimate what being a true leader is, because leadership is a skill. When you hear people say, oh, these guys are more skilled today, they're talking about dribbling and shooting, but they forget that leadership is a skill. And why is it a skill? Because there are people out there that actually go to class. There are people who learn and go to become better leaders. You can hone that skill. Now, yes, some people are born great leaders. Some people are not born leaders. Some people are better at following orders, at following directions. But when we talk about leadership, these are the things that we're alluding to. When you talk about JJ Redick and you're blaming the whole team other than LeBron James, that's poor leadership. Like you talked about, you're going to lose the locker room. Guys are not going to give the same effort on the court because you're saying they're not giving the effort even when they were giving the effort. You're not going to hold LeBron James to a higher standard. LeBron James as the leader should be held to a higher standard, not a lower standard. If these guys are more skilled today, they should be held to a higher standard of officiating, not a lower standard of officiating. So it's impacting your entire team and the guys around you for JJ Redick to make those comments, man.
Thank you. We got a comment from Speam Engine. I'm sorry, man. I let my pirate mouth come back. When I talking about LeBron James, I get really disgusted. You're right. I'll watch my mouth. I didn't have the googly eyes up to go with my F-bomb.
What's up, man?
Jacked Up is calling in. Jacked Up, what do you have to say?
What's up? Yeah. What's up, man? Y'all boys can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hear you.
What's up with y'all boys, man? Y'all can hear me?
Good.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I was calling in, man. You notice how y'all was talking about how he goes to Miami, why he went to Miami, and you know what I'm saying, that there. But one thing, do y'all notice, like, every time he won a championship, because they always like, well, LeBron James won, you know what I'm saying, 4 championships, 4, different teams or whatever. But it's like, well, every time he went to those teams, there's an overhaul in the roster. Y'all notice that?
Well, not only that, but he abandons teams when things aren't going well. So, if he was brave or these championships are worth talking about, he would have stuck through the bad times and overcome. I mean, he goes where the getting is good. I mean, that's really embarrassing, I think.
Yeah, it is. It is in my mind. Like I said, think about it, man. Like when he went to Miami, it was, Bosh, Wade, Shane Battier, Mike Miller, Then he added Rashard Lewis, Ray Allen. Then he went back to Cleveland. It was Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, Iman Shumpert, J.R. Smith. Then he went to the Lakers. It was Anthony Davis, Caldwell Pope, Dwight Howard, Rajon Rondo. You know what I'm saying? It always was like an overhaul in the roster. Like it was never like he went there with like another guy or some stuff. It was a complete overhaul. So it wasn't just him, and they give him all the credit.
Great points, and not only do they do the overhaul, but then you have a piece of trash journalistic organizations like Sports Illustrated writing things that say LeBron James hasn't had the luxury of having a solid core to work with. Like, he's the reason.
Yep.
They're trying to build super
man,
teams to carry his ass, and then you complain that he hasn't had a solid core around him. This is probably the closest thing to having a consistent team that he's had in ages. And, well, what could they do when they wasted their offseason getting Bronny?
No, you're absolutely right. When you talk about the LeBron James fans always hyping up that he won 4 championships in 4 different franchises, what they fail to mention or put context behind is what you just mentioned. It wasn't like LeBron James went to these organizations by himself and he was the X factor. He was the key addition that made the difference. Like you mentioned, LeBron James has never went to an organization by himself. The only time that LeBron James went to another team by himself was when he went to the Lakers in 2018-19 season. And what happened that year? They won 37 games. They didn't even make the
Facts.
playoffs. And they fought Luke Walton after the season. And remember, LeBron James had a groin injury. He activated playoff mode that season. You guys remember, he came back from the injury, activated playoff mode, and they still kept losing. That was the only time that he went to another team with no help, with no one else with him. Like you mentioned, he went to Cleveland with help. He went to Miami with guys. Every time that he went somewhere, he didn't build up the team around him. He didn't galvanize and bring in a winning culture. He went to teams that had already won. And when he went back to Cleveland, he demanded that they traded Andrew Wiggins for Kevin Love. He demanded that. But now LeBron James fans say that Kevin Love was garbage. If he was so bad, then why did LeBron James demand him?
Facts, dog. Facts. That's what I'm saying, man. Like they give LeBron all the credit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's always an overhaul in the roster.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Thank you for calling in, Jacked Up. I still have
No,
to
but
get
that's
back
a
and
great point, though, man, because a lot of
yeah.
people say that. They'll say, oh, LeBron James led this team to a championship. He led the Lakers, the Cavs, the Heat. He went to all these different franchises and won. But they never mentioned that LeBron James never went there by himself. So what do they say? Oh, LeBron James went to the Heat, and then he won. And when he left, they were terrible. No, when LeBron James went there, he brought along a whole plethora of players. They made a whole bunch of free agent signings and trades. And when he left, he handcuffed the organization because they got rid of all their assets while he was there.
I go back to some clips I saw of 2010, 2011 of Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith going back and forth. And even Stephen A., who was supposed to be defending LeBron, had changed his story from LeBron was the chosen one to, well, it's okay. That's just who he is. And he understands that he needs to go to Miami to be second fiddle to Dwayne Wade. I mean, they had given up on LeBron James. They had given up on him being the actual GOAT. And then they pivoted again after he got his championship there. Then they started telling us again that LeBron James was the GOAT, despite the fact that they had already conceded that LeBron James couldn't do it himself. And there was nothing wrong with him going to Miami to get helped out by somebody who did know how to get it done. Any way they want it, they get it. Hey, man, it was a great Saturday. I'm going to let you do another rant, close us out. Let's end strong. We don't have to go on forever. It's 10:30 on a Saturday. It was great to have you back, and we'll try to do this more in the future. Everybody know Sports and Fitness Rants' channel is at Sports and Fitness Rants. And go ahead, man. What are your last thoughts?
So yes, man. Once again, man, I want to just start off by saying it's great to be back with my man AOH to dissolve the video footage. My man came through with the video footage to verify all the things that we're telling you. Remember, I tell you guys on my channel, what I'm telling you is verified through the video footage that my man AOH provides to you. I don't just talk to hear myself talk. When I call myself Sports and Fitness Rants, the key word might be rants. But remember, I got the rants with the facts. It's the facts, the info. To all the people that came out to the chat today, man, thank you very much, man. Remember, all the LeBron James fans out there, remember, guys, LeBron James is in a lose-lose situation this season, guys. LeBron James is clearly not the best player on the Los Angeles Lakers. That's clearly Anthony Davis. Clearly, you can see it on the court, man. You guys know the deal. So it doesn't matter. Remember, as far as the Lakers go this season, they're only going to go as far as Anthony Davis takes them. LeBron James is clearly a liability on the defensive end. The Lakers are one of the worst defensive teams. They're one of the worst rebounding teams. And LeBron James is the main reason for those things, ladies and gentlemen. That's the sad, cold, hard reality for LeBron James fans. And that's the reality for LeBron James and the Lakers this season, man. JJ Redick, once again, has to learn to win on the road. I've talked about the word inconsistency on my channel a lot. And LeBron James teams being inconsistent. Oftentimes you hear LeBron James fans talk about, oh, LeBron James wasn't a favorite in this year. He wasn't a favorite that year because his team wasn't good enough or the competition was too stiff. All that goes is to the level of inconsistency of LeBron James teams and how they play out the season. So LeBron James teams will have a certain level of expectations coming into the year, and then as the season progresses, we get what we're seeing right now, the inconsistent play, not being able to win consistently on the road. Remember, if you're going to be a contender, you have to do two things. You must be able to win consistently on the road, like I just mentioned, but you also must beat the teams that you're supposed to beat more often than not, which is called consistently. So if we're going to keep those things in mind, if Anthony Davis is there consistently and he's doing his thing, the Lakers will be a contender. They'll be maybe a playoff team. But it's not going to be because of LeBron James, man. So once again, it was a great Saturday, man. Thank you for everybody that came through, man. I always enjoy these shows with my man AOH, man. Like I said, it's an honor once again to be here with you, man. You guys know the deal, man. You guys know sports and fitness rants. I don't got to put my name out there. None. You guys know who I am. And you guys know the deal, man. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, man. You guys know the deal, man. And I'll catch you guys on the next one, man.
Thanks, everybody. And all you LeBron fans, go look for your excuses and your ways out. Find someone else to blame for being losers in society.